Welcome to the Karaoke World Championships Keep on Singing program. We are doing the genre reveal for week number 3. These singers gave us their favorite genres while registering for the Karaoke World Championships. And in weeks 2 and week 3, we randomize the genres and then we spin the wheel to find out what their genre is going to be for their weekly song choice. These singers are going to get with their coaches and choose the best song available that fits their genre and their voice. Who is going to be the next Karaoke World Champion? Welcome everyone to week 3 genre pick. I'm Josh Barron, the National Director of the Karaoke World Championships, and we're doing the genre picks for next week. So all the genres you picked this week for week 2 will not be available for week 3. They're going to be all the other genres that you picked when you submitted your national registration. So be glad you're not going to get the same genre again. Woohoo! But totally new genre, and I hope you guys like it. Now it's time to pick Team Smooth, Team Chris Wilson. First singer, coming from Arkansas, Miss Valerie Bell. Valerie picked operas and musicals, R&B and hip hop, jazz and blues, music legends and rock and roll hall of fame, and the 1980s. Let's see what she is going to end up with. Oh yes, Valerie, you got music legends and rock and roll hall of fame. Good job. All right, our next singer that we are choosing for is Melinda Lancaster. All right, Mindy chose opera and musicals, jazz and blues, the Great American Songbook, the 1950s, the 1930s, and the 1940s. Let's see what she's going to end up with for week 3. Oh, yes! Mindy, you got the 1930s. Great. Well, our next singer that we are going to be spinning the wheel for is Chris Hoffman. Chris Hoffman gave us these genres to choose from: operas and musicals, Great American Songbook, Legends and Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the 1960s, and the 1990s. Let's see what Chris ended up coming up with. Yes, Chris, you got Legends and Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Monique McNeely is our next singer, and for week 3, these are the genres we have left to spin from. We have country, we have jazz and blues, the Grammys, music legends and rock and roll hall of fame, and movie soundtracks and TV themes. All right, what is she going to end up with? Monique, you got jazz and blues. Tamika Devant, these are your selections for week 3: movie soundtracks and TV themes. arias, opera, Broadway, and music theater, the Grammys, the 1990s, and gospel. Let's see what you are going to end up with for week three. Oh, yes, you got the 1990s. What a great genre for you. Now it's time to spin the wheels for Team Soul, our U.S. champ, Michael White team. Jeremy Chapa has these to choose from for this week: movie soundtracks and TV themes, R&B and hip hop, country, 1990s, or 1980s. Let's spin that wheel and see what he ends up with for week three. Jeremy, you got movie soundtracks and TV themes. The next singer that we are spinning the wheel for is Grant Cohen, and Grant has some great genres for this week to choose from. Will it be the 1990s? Will it be the 1970s? Will it be music legends and rock and roll Hall of Fame? Will it be jazz and blues? Or will it be the year 2000? All right, let's spin that wheel for Grant. All right, Grant, you got jazz and blues for week number three. Our next singer that we are spinning for is Ishma Clark. And Ishma has these genres that we're going to be spinning. Is it going to be classic rock? Is it going to be jazz and blues? Is it going to be R&B and hip hop? Is it going to be country? Or is it going to be the 2000s? Let's spin it and find out. Next, we're choosing for Holly Smelson. For week three genres, this is what we have to pick from. We have Blue Eyed Soul. We have the 1990s. We have the 1960s. We have classic rock. And we have arias, opera, Broadway, and musicals. Let's spin this wheel and find out what Holly is going to end up with for week three. Blue-eyed soul. What a great genre. David Harrison is the next singer that we are spinning the genre wheel for. These are the genres that he had for week number three. He has jazz and blues, the Grammys, the Great American Songbook, the 1960s, and gospel. Let's spin this wheel and see what David Harrison's going to end up with for week three. David, you ended up with the Grammys. That is any song that has been nominated for a Grammy, or a song from an album that's been nominated for a Grammy, or any movie soundtrack that's been nominated for a Grammy. Now it's time to pick the genres for Team Vocalgasm, Team Miriam's team. All right, so we are spinning the wheel for Luis Orozco for genre week number three. We are choosing from the 1960s, the 1970s, music legends and rock and roll Hall of Fame, classic rock in the 1980s. What is he going to come up with? Let's spin the wheel and find out. It is you got the 1970s. The next singer that we are spinning the wheel for is James Bueller. James Bueller for this week is going to be choosing from opera and musicals, alternative and grunge, movie and TV songs, or the 1950s. Let's spin the wheel and find out what genre James Bueller is going to have for week 3. All right, James, you have grunge and alternative music. Our next singer that we are spinning the wheel for is Renee Turcotte. And these are the genres that are left over in her genre list that we're going to spin and choose from. We have arias, opera, Broadway, and musicals. We have R&B and hip hop. We have the Grammys. We have movie soundtracks and TV themes. And we have the 1990s. Now we're going to spin that wheel for Renee. Renee, R&B and hip hop. These are the genres that were left over for Miranda Longacre. Is she going to end up with the Great American Songbook, R&B and hip hop, the 1950s, jazz and blues, or the 1960s? Let's spin that wheel and find out what Miranda is going to get for week 3. Miranda, you got the 1960s. What a great era of music. Now we are spinning for Kennedy Miller. These are the genres that are left on her list that we're going to be spinning from. Is it going to be country? Is she going to end up with movie soundtracks and TV themes? The 1980s, the 1990s, or the 2000s? Let's spin away for Kennedy Miller. The 1980s. Now it is time for Team Bebop. Woo! Which is Team Tommy McCarthy. Now we're taking the spins for Diane Spicer. Diane has these genres to choose from for week 3. Opera and musicals, Great American Songbook, the 1980s, the 1990s, and the year 2000. Let's spin this wheel and see what she's going to end up with for week 3. Diane Spicer, you ended up with the 1990s. All right, so now we're going to spin for Garvando Hamilton. And Garvando has these genres on his list for week 3 that we're going to be spinning the wheel and finding out which one he's going to end up with. He has R&B and hip hop. He has the Grammys. He has the 1980s. He has reggae and the 2000s. Now it is time to spin that wheel and find out what he has for week 3. Oh, yes. Garvando, you have the Grammys. All right, now we are going to spin for Taylon Lewis and Taylon's choices that she had for this week were country, R&B and hip hop, classic rock, the 2000s, and jazz and blues. Let's see what she ends up with. Oh yes, Taylon, you ended up with country. Now we're going to pick for Kareem Beckman. Kareem Beckman for this week has on her list Jazz and Blues, a Great American Songbook, the 1950s, the 1970s, and pop. Let's spin this wheel and find out what Kareem's going to have for week 3. And for week 3, Kareem has jazz and blues. All right, let's pick. Now let's pick all the songs. All right, Mark Deal, it is now your turn to spin the wheel for week 3. And what are the genres for week 3? We have R&B and hip hop. We have 2010s to current, the 1980s, the 1990s, and the 2000s. Here we go. Let's spin this wheel and see what you'll end up with. Until you ended up with the 1980s. All right, guys, so now you have 24 hours to pick with your coach what song you're going to do that fits in your genre. If you have any questions in the genre, please hit up your coach, or you can also write us at KWCTeamUSA at gmail.com, and we can help you. Remember to share the KWC Team USA Facebook page, as well as the KWC USA YouTube channel. And also, we are on Twitch at twitch.tv/KWC USA. You can watch it at all 3 places. Remember, share, 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 share. Guys, we are looking for the world champion, and this can be you. Take care, everyone.